What if I told you now there are people inventing machines that look like a V12 engine from a Lamborghini Formula One, and you literally drink the espresso from the exhaust pipe? Or what about a $20,000 cold dripper that was built in a style that looked like it was part of the Notre Dame church with massive intricate details? You probably think I'm lying, but for better or for worse, these are actual machines. And I'm going to show you today some of the favorite ones that I've found in my research over the years, some of the weirdest designs, the craziest coffee machines that I've ever come across. So let's check it out. The very first espresso machine was built by Lamborghini back in the early 1900s, and by those standards, it did look pretty crazy. Some of the earlier machines as well by Gaggia looked a little bit like turbine engines, also a bit crazy. Now, I can't put all of them into one video. Yeah, there's actually that many weird-ass machines to do. I can do it across multiple videos, but I've always wanted to do a video like this. So if this does well on YouTube and goes pretty far, then I will look at doing more, and I'd love to hear some feedback or suggestions on other machines that I may not cover in this video. But whatever you do, show me the love and I'll show it back to you. Now I'll start with my favorite crazy espresso machine, and for some of you, you will already know this machine, especially if you work in the industry or you're quite keen and been investing a lot of time in the industry. It's the Decent espresso machine. It's literally the Tesla of espresso machines. And I say it's the Tesla because not only does it look like a Tesla with its sleek, modern, white, matte design, but also it has a massive tablet display, and it's the only machine that currently exists that utilizes a huge tablet to graph your entire coffee experience, similar to sitting at the dashboard of your Tesla. It was invented by John Buckman and Scott Rayer, and they got their heads and put it together to create this super smart machine. Not only does it look sleek and beautiful, it is tracking absolutely everything from the flow rate of your coffee, the pressure, the volume in and out, the water temperature, and every aspect is variable as well. So you can just go and create the most crazy looking extractions, from a 16-second turbo extraction to a 5-minute long, even longer filter extraction, light roast, medium roast, dark roast, whatever your style is, whatever you can possibly think of, you can literally do it on this machine. You can mimic other machines, right from a lever, right to a Breville, to a commercial machine, to machines that don't even exist yet, that might come out with new elements. You can normally mimic every aspect of a machine, right down to the minutiae. So this really deserves a spot on my list of the crazy coffee machines. Kees van der Westen is like the Gaudi of coffee machine architecture. And if you don't know who Gaudi is, go look him up. He definitely was an alien pretending to be an architect in the early 1850s. And he has created some of the weirdest designs out there, like the Sagrada Familia, which has been 150 years almost being built, and it's not even finished yet. I think it's going to be finished this year or in the next 3 years, but it's so intricate. And Kees van der Westen is also an alien from the same planet, because his machines are so ridiculously out there and advanced and spectacular. You could do a whole segment of crazy machines just on him alone, but I've got to choose just a couple to focus on. First up is the Del Rey Deluxe, which is Kees' second machine ever. He actually made it while he was still in design school, and it's really just a pop machine popping out of a traditional machine. And it's crazy. It looks like one of those retro cafe diner type styles, even with the little motif at the top saying Del Rey and Deluxe written on the side. But it's a spectacular looking machine. It did actually function, unlike his earlier one, which kept blowing up. This one actually made some good coffees, and while they were at the design exhibition, he was making some coffees, and someone came along, gave him an offer too good to refuse, and that was how Kees actually got into manufacturing coffee machines. That was his first sale. Don't know what he paid for it, but I would say it was a pretty high price, because the machine looks incredible and earns the number 2 slot on the world's craziest coffee machines. This next machine definitely deserves a place on this list, even though this has become quite a popular machine in commercial cafes all around the world in the last couple of years. It's by a company called RMD, and it's called the RMD Nexus One by a Dutch designer called Rempt van der Donk. It was the first ever see-through coffee machine. And when I say see-through, I don't mean like it has glass panels that you can see into the internals. I mean you're literally looking through the machine and seeing the coffee extract, seeing the baristas on the other side, seeing what they see every morning. I was actually fortunate enough to talk to Rempt down in Mice when he launched the RMD Nexus and got to understand his thought process behind coming up with this design, because he had never done any coffee machine before. He was an architect that was brought on by some guys here in Brisbane, and he told me the fantastic story of how he came up with it. He was traveling to the airport, and when he looked over, he saw the airport and he went, I want it to be a stage. This coffee machine, I want it to be a stage with the curtains that part, and the show begins. And that's what he has designed. If you want to check out the full video, it's right here. You can click on the link and see the whole entire interview that I did with Rempt. But it's an amazing story, and they really revolutionized coffee machine. How it works is it all sits below the counter. So only the necessary components are above it, so you can do your extractions. And what it does for a customer is, instead of being poking out behind a coffee machine and trying to talk to someone over the top, you can actually look through the machine, see your coffee being made, watch your steam milk being made, or if you wish, they can jump on the other side to be with you and actually steam the milk there on the side that the customer sits. It's really incredible, and I really applaud Rempt and the team at RMD really coming up with this machine. It's such a beautiful one, and I really want one. If I had to upgrade this Synesso, I would definitely look at the RMD, because I just love its aesthetics and I love the whole concept. And that's why it sits in my number 3 slot in the world's craziest coffee machines. Now, I never thought I'd say this, but I really want to go work for Starbucks right now as a barista. And I know it makes me a little bit of vomit just comes up in my throat every time I say that, but I actually mean it, because Starbucks Reserve have created a first ever reserve coffee experience in the Philippines, in Tagaytay City. They're calling it Hireya Coffee Experience. And it's beautiful. Not just the cafe itself, as obviously they've really kitted it out. It's the first ever proprietary coffee machine that Starbucks has got behind, called the Oviso, and there's only one in the world currently, and it's in this place in the Philippines. Just an amazing looking machine that I just want to get onto. I've actually reached out to Starbucks to ask them if I can come and do work experience so that I can get to play on the machine, and hopefully they say yes, and I can film it and I can share it with you guys. The machine looks incredible. I really love the aesthetics of it. It actually has unique features that I've never seen before on any other machine. Firstly, the vials of extraction actually go upwards. So the coffee extracts upwards somehow into these vials that you then turn over and pour into the cup. You also steam your milk from the bottom up. Again, it comes through an induction system. I think there's not a lot of information on this, and it's very hard to get information yet because it's so early. I think it opened maybe earlier this month in September 2023. So I don't know a lot about it, but I'm super keen, and hopefully YouTube, you can help me get the message out to Starbucks in the Philippines, help me get over there and get working on this machine. I will work for free just to experience that, because I think it looks so unique, and I'm really keen to see how this machine performs and whether they roll out more of them across the world. Now, another Kees van der Westen coffee machine. This one actually hangs from the ceiling and is designed like an aeroplane. The wings being the cup warmers, actually on hinges to move up and down, acting like regular wing and landing gear, but also to access the machine, you can go in through the wings. I'm not sure how well the machine works because it's hanging, so maybe it moves around a bit, and it's not really like flying an aeroplane. However, the handle, the extraction actuator, is on top, and it does feel like the joystick that you would use in a plane, pulling it forward to start the extraction and pushing it backwards to make it stop. It's a very, very interesting looking machine. I don't think you can get them anywhere, and maybe only a few people in the world even have it. Maybe it's the only prototype ever made. But again, it falls into this world's craziest coffee machines, because who else makes a coffee machine that hangs and you fly it like an airplane? And I guess for people with the fear of flying, it's perfect for them because they get the full experience of being a pilot without leaving the ground, and rewarded with a coffee. And lastly, in the number 1 slot in the world's craziest coffee machine, I hinted at it before, it's the V12 engine replica from a Lamborghini designed by the legendary engineer Mauro Forghieri, who designed a lot of the Formula One cars. They took the V12 engine and they wrapped it around a pretty standard commercial coffee machine, but it looks spectacular, and you actually end up drinking the coffee coming out of the 12 exhaust pipes around the sides. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but I'm wanting to get in touch with Paolo Mastrogiuseppe, the designer behind this, and ask him how this all came about. I know that he had a love for Formula One and a love for coffee, and he wanted to combine those two, but this is such a weird looking machine, it would be very specific to only a few people around the world who are motorheads and coffee heads alike to mash these two together to buy one of these machines. I can't imagine how expensive they are. They are custom made to order, so I'm thinking they're probably going to sit in the range of 50,000, maybe even more, but they do look spectacular. And I don't know if they make the same sort of level of noise as a V12 engine, but they certainly do produce a very good coffee, but maybe it's just all about the looks and not the rest of it. So inside the machine itself, he hasn't really changed anything about the mechanics of espresso machines. It's more about the aerospace alloys wrapped around the outside to make this coffee machine look spectacular and create a unique experience. So if Paolo, you're watching this video, please contact me because I'd love to set up a time to come and play on this machine as well. Maybe we can get one on the bar here and roll it out for all you guys to see as well. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this video of world's craziest coffee machines. Before you click off, please like and subscribe. Share this video. If it does well, I promise you I will make more. But if it flops and I get hardly any views, then I can know that the audience aren't really interested in that, and therefore I'm not going to put any more energy into it. As always, I'm Ride, your coffee coach, and enjoy your brew.